Hello, Renee Flamond here. You guys, this is such an important thing to cover because when you are post relationship with a narcissist, and certainly while you're in it, you're stumbling around the earth not knowing what comes next. I'm going to refer to a comment. I told you guys I'm going to start to try to do that, and I wrote this outline already, but then I realized I remembered a couple of days ago. This comment really sums up my concern for how if you don't get a handle on how they twist up your insides, your mind, your heart, you're so confused. And then to go out into the world without dealing or listening or addressing that, I'll try to get it all here in 15 minutes, right? But this, a Nightingale Nachtigall, this was her comment to video 535, and it's funny that this outline was written and then this shows up. She says, and video 535 was when every sign is there, but you hold out hope they're not a narcissist. You guys, I hope, watched it. She says, I love this quote, it's short. The signs were there, slowly showed up, but mixed with care for me, great moments, so it put me in a brain fog. Fell for the second narcissist in a row, even though I watched all of your videos after my first narcissist. I was lonely, hurt, and injured by my first narcissist, so my second narcissist smelt blood like a shark. And I commented to her that I have used the phrase before with you, chum in the water, which I still didn't look up. I think that's what it is, right? Chum in the water they throw to attract sharks or fish or, I think that when a narcissist sees any one of us and we are vulnerable, they smell it. She's right. They smell it. They zero in on you. Why didn't all the times I met a narcissist, why didn't my friend or whoever my wing person was or the group I was in, why was it me? Any of them would have looked at that character. I'm thinking of the last 5 that I've dated. I think all of them maybe even were narcissists. I think of me now. I go, get out of here. Like they must, they smell it. They zero in on you. And when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, there are a bunch of things that you can't help but learn, and it's important to note a lot of it is opposite from the way the world usually works. So you're in a brain fog, you've been trained however long you've been with your narcissist. You've been trained that the more you love, the less your partner does. That's what you've been trained. You're coming out of that relationship knowing that no matter what you did, it didn't matter. So now you're going back out into the world and you're armed with what information? I'll just try harder. I'll just try harder. I'll just try harder. I didn't do enough. I'll just try harder. Or you're the opposite and you're thinking, I'm never going in again. Heck no, I'll never go in again. Or somewhere in between. The harder you tried with your narcissist, the more they slacked off because they knew that they had us right where they wanted us to be. Right? Why would they try then or give anything? That's the point they try to get you to with the love bombing. They try to get you to exactly the point that many of us have been, where they know you won't leave. They watch you knocking yourself out. It's amusing to them. So now you're going into the world in a brain fog, as it's so accurate. And you're thinking, no effort that you made was appreciated. No love that you gave was genuinely returned. The normal, when I say normal, I refer to not having this disorder. So yes, there are a million other things that could be wrong, but if you are in a normal, healthy, non-dysfunctional relationship, generally when you love more, that could mean that you're getting there together, so they're loving more, and it's a journey, and you get to know each other, and you're doing things for each other and with each other, and it's a process of companionship, right? You're going out into the world where you just had the opposite of all that. Not knowing that the world could even work that way. You're thinking it's just the movies. That's what we come out. You're like, oh, well, I guess nothing's perfect, but that can't exist. Yes, it can. We all know, and you might say, well, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I understand that, but I think we all know people that are in healthy relationships. And one or the other isn't knocking themselves out trying to please the other one. They're both just living their lives and doing the best they can, right? Because it is a struggle when you're in a long relationship for anybody. No one's perfect. But when you leave this kind of relationship, you are left with the insides of someone who it's kind of, we're warped around. I think about getting dressed up. This is another example of what I mean by we have to flip it around. We have to flip our brain and rewire our brain to accept what's normal and not normal, to accept what's acceptable, to understand what's acceptable and not acceptable. Not like, oh, well, here he goes again. No! Here's my example. You're headed out. You get dressed up. You're both dressed up. It's a big thing. It's a special day. It's somebody's wedding. It's an invite-only kind of thing, all right? A narcissist, you get dressed up in a normal relationship, you may think you're going to get a kind comment from your partner. Yet with a narcissist, they may be just in the mood to put you in your place. They might have heard you on the phone that day with your cousin, laughing and being your genuine self, and you're so happy and you exude it, and they can't find it. So a few hours later, when you're all dressed up, he says, why'd you pick that dress? Just feels like bringing you back down. Or maybe they don't think they look good, and they need the attention, and they feel like being head honcho tonight because all week you've been talking about your promotion. It could be anything, any reason. There's a million of them. And so they tell you why'd you pick that dress. Now, what kind of night you're going to have? Don't have to tell you, right? It's happened to all of us. And they take these big occasions on purpose because they want to make you feel out of sorts, because they want you warped inside, because they want you under their control. So you leave a relationship like that, and now you're in a normal one, and you're still in the brain fog, and you're getting dressed up to go out. And the guy might say, you look beautiful. And your instinct is to go, oh, please stop. Because you're uncomfortable and you can't. You know what? Let's just say thank you. Just say thank you. That's right. But it's going to hit us different because our insides are warped. You're going to do something that's not your fault, and your instinct would be to say, I'm sorry. Because that's what you've been doing with the narcissist. And the new person is going to say, what are you sorry for? You didn't do anything. This actually happened to a friend of mine. She said, I had to catch myself and realize that I was so used to dealing, whether it was a disagreement in the new relationship or whatever. She said, I was so used to dealing with it in the way that I did with her narcissist. She said, he reminded me that, what are you doing? Why are you apologizing? Why do you think you did something wrong? Why do you think this was your fault? Why do you think that anything that we're talking about is even bad? We're just having a discussion. This is just communication. It doesn't need to get loud or angry or a fight or whatever. Right? That's because of what we left. Look at me yelling. Oh my God. I hate. My mother always told us not to say hate, but obviously I say it now as an adult. But I really just hate what they do to you. Because even if you get away and there's a breaking point, okay? And this is you before, this is my left. So this is you before them, and this is you after them. There's residual. And we have to take care. So how do you fix it? There's things you can do. There's things you can do. You can, well, let me just say one more thing. When you have the great night with the normal person, even if something did, say, get you upset during the evening, someone who genuinely cared for you not only would never start you to be upset on purpose and poke you with a fire poker, but someone who genuinely cared about you would check in if they sensed there was something wrong. Maybe somebody else at the wedding was rude to you or something. Pardon me. I don't know. Maybe you have a stomach ache, whatever. If they sensed it, they'll check in on you. Tend to you. Care. A narcissist gets you to a bad place and leaves you festering all night. And now they're going to be off having a great time, laughing, a crowd of people around them, charming everybody. They say, what's wrong with, let's just use my name. What's wrong with Renee? Why is she just sitting over there? Oh, who knows? You know her. They'll take that as an opportunity to smear. You know how she can be. I don't know what's wrong with her. I don't know. I tried to get her to come over here. I know, bless her heart. You know I love her, but I don't know. She just wants to sit there, I guess. Maybe they won't even say, go ask her. Maybe she wants, so they want you to sit there looking all sulky. It's so calculated what they do. They'll take any opportunity. So this is a prime opportunity for them to set up their flying monkeys for when they smear you later. Well, you remember how she was. We looked forward to that wedding for 6 months, and she sat there all night. Meanwhile, nobody knows what they told you on the way out the door, or how they fought with you the whole way there, or how they made sure you were feeling terrible about yourself, whether it's physically or they do a number on you, and you leave the relationship and want to go out into the world. We have to reprogram our brains so that we do not fall for another one, like Nightingale says. She fell for a second one even after watching these videos. Now, when we're watching these videos, I want us to remember, this is real information. I watched over 1,000 of these. Many of them were doctors. So I've learned that there is a danger to not getting yourself right once you get out of this relationship. What happened with Nightingale? She leaves, she's in the brain fog. This guy comes along, love bomb, love bomb, love bomb. She lists it of what he did. You know, he came on to, okay, fine. She fell for it. Why? Because she was trying to fill the hole the narcissist left. The narcissist got in the first place because we have a hole of self-love, leaving us feeling vulnerable enough to accept the attention from this predator. So she was primed and ready, never fixed or worked on herself. Her relationship with the first narcissist ended in whatever way, but she was primed and ready to receive that second one. I've done it. I've done it. Before I knew anything about this, I didn't really realize my pattern. I was starting to figure it out. I went from one to another. Why? Because the first one, I was so broken, right? This goes back a few years now, because it was before the narcissist that I refer to. I was so broken and devastated. What did I do? I took a minute, but then I went right back out there. I need to fill this. I need to fill it. I need to get, and I didn't even know I was wanting to be love bombed. I need someone else to be like with me the way he was. I can't do this without a distraction. I need to go out there and find. So what do? You find someone that love bombs you, and of course you're susceptible to that person. It's going to heal you, fix you. It made you feel better. It really did make you feel better. And you start to not worry about the first narcissist that you just left, because now you're all set. You've met Prince Charming for real. And you convince yourself that what you went through with the last narcissist led you here. And you convince yourself this new narcissist is not a narcissist, whatever. You got to heal what you went through. And part of this healing is, I would say, after I think I said it to Nightingale, you can look up my comment to her. I must have said it because this is what I believe. Part of not falling into another one, part of setting yourself straight and out of the fog that you're in, is learning how to spot one. And I've made many videos about that. Learning how to spot a narcissist, because that's how they ensnare you. Had Miss Nightingale, she was in her fog, but had she taken the time to work on herself and realize she doesn't need that validation from someone, she doesn't need to hear that and be distracted off this first one. She knows that he is one, this second guy, because she recognized the love bombing. She recognizes that it came too fast. She recognizes that she needs to take time for herself to wait it out. If they're a nice guy and all that love bombing is genuine, okay, well then they'll be genuine in a week. They'll be genuine in a month. They'll be genuine in 3 months, 6 months, a year, however the heck long you take to go as slowly and at the pace that you want. When they come on that strong, are they automatically a narcissist? No. I know plenty of people that aren't narcissists and they're just over the top with romance. That's how they come at the person. But the rest of it doesn't follow, evil cycle and all that. That's just how they are. So it might be a nice person. And how will you know? Time and action. It all ties together. And especially on the topic of how warped our insides are once we leave them. There's a lot you need to learn and work on yourself. You cannot go back out there and date if you still have a hole of self-love and you're looking to fill it with somebody else. You have to work on how you're seeing the world. Everything that you just experienced is the opposite of how the world works or how it should work or how you think your reaction will play in a relationship or your need to discuss something. You go out into the world, you're afraid to tell the new guy what? You're afraid to tell him anything. You left a relationship that was ruled on fear and power and control. You have to work on your brain and flipping it around. And we'll talk about that more as we go forward. But I really appreciate the comment. I think it really does play well into this video. I don't want us walking around in a brain fog. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. You have to get it together and realize, okay, wait a minute, let me take a moment. Let me get my parameters straight, my boundaries straight, then go out into the world. Once you have those, even if you're not right and you're still working on yourself, if you have those, then that should keep you safe. Be honest with yourself when creating parameters and boundaries, and be true to yourself in making them stick. It can warp our insides. I don't want us walking around like that in a brain fog. It's very dangerous, and we really need to work on ourselves and how to spot them. I wish you all to never ever go through what you went through again. I talk to a lot of you, and these stories are unreal. Just our little audience alone, and it happens everywhere. Imagine the hurt out there if we gathered it all up that narcissists have caused. It's huge. Educate and empower, my friends. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.